Hello everyone, welcome back to the Lingua Loom. Today we're going to start another episode of the Language of Linguistics series, and the episode name is Language Change. So no language has ever stayed the same for even one generation. English today would be unrecognizable to the Viking and barely readable to Shakespeare. Change isn't decay, it's only the constant, as we all know that only change is permanent. If something is static, it is meant to die. So language has thrived till to this day. It is because that it is constantly changing. So let's start the topic. Before starting it, please do like, subscribe, and share, and do comment as it means a lot for the channel. So 80% of English vocab is borrowed, and these are the general infos that 50, hundreds, great vowel shift, then 13 plus new words added daily. Then languages, 0% of languages that do not change. If some language is static, that it obviously dies. They constantly evolve and change. So the drivers, why does language even change? So the five forces are there that changes the language. First, contact. Language borrows when speakers mix because of trade or conquest or migration. Like if someone is doing trade with other in people of other countries or different societies having different languages, then the contact they borrow different terms or words, and that's how language change occurs, and conquest too. And then comes economy. Speakers simplify, hard sounds get easier, and long words get shorter. Then comes prestige. People copy how powerful or admired groups speak. Then comes technology. New things need new words like selfie, email, podcast. Then comes generations. Every new generation reanalyzes the grammar slightly differently. That's why there are different terms. Even you have heard today talking about nowadays like Gen Z slangs or Gen Z words. So these kinds of words which comes under the domain of generations. Now let's move forward. The four kinds of change. Where does change actually happen? Change hits at every level of language. So let's look at first one is sound. Sound change, which is the pronunciation of words shifts systematically over time, affecting entire classes of sound at once. Like this is an example of night. So this is the old IPA transcription. Then comes modern. In modern, it is night. It is hard to pronounce. Like we do not know, as if who have not studied historical linguistics, that how to pronounce them. It is hard for them. It's Nake or something like this, but this one is easier for us because we have been using this word for a long time, so it's easy for us. The K, the K sound, and the glottal G sounds both disappeared. So that's what happened here. The K sound and this one sound both disappeared, but in Old English they were present like night, knight, something like this. The name. Middle English name. Modern it is was it the Middle English a name, but here it is name. Vowel shifted entirely. Great vowel shift. This is just because of this that changes it. Then comes further Proto-Indo-European pattern, Germanic. Then comes further. The P sound becomes F, which is according to Grimm's law. Then comes meaning. Semantic change. A word's meaning shift, widens, narrows, or flips entirely, while the form often stays the same. For example, meat, Old English, this word is then any food, now narrate to mean only animal flesh. Awful once meant awe-inspiring, which is positive, now means terrible, used in negative sense, total flip of meaning here. Then comes silly. In Old English, selling means blessed or happy, now means foolish. So this is how it is, that meaning how shifts. Then comes grammar. Syntactic change, the rules for combining words into sentences shift. Sometimes there were centuries. For example, in word order, Old English was far more flexible. SOV, which is subject, object, verb, or OSV, possible structure. Modern English locked into strict SVO structure, which is subject plus verb plus object. Then the next example is do sport. Know you the way. Do you know the way? Well, first it was used like this, but now it is do you know the way. Auxiliary do became mandatory in questions. Then comes double negative. I do not know nothing was standard in Old or Middle English grammar, now considered incorrect. Now we use I do not know anything or I do not know. Then comes vocabulary, lexical change. Entire words are born, borrowed, or die out as cultures and technology shift. For example, kindness, selfie, podcast, Google, brand new words for new realities. Then comes boring, sushi, from Japanese, safari from Swahili, and ketchup from Hokkien, or borrowed in English, absorbed wholesale. Then obsolescence. The, wherefore, betwixt, once common, now archaic or dead. These words are not used anymore. Like thine, even those two, thy, they are not used too. So this shows that how actually change happens, starting from sound, then meaning, then grammar and vocabulary, every level contributing. Sound, which is phonetics and phonology, meaning semantics and pragmatics. Grammar is syntax, and vocabulary is morphology. Let's move forward to sound change in action. Grimm's law. Okay, wait a second. Grimm's law. A sound shift so regular it's a law. Around 500 BCE, the Germanic languages broke off from Proto-Indo-European through a chain of systematic consonant shifts. Let's watch the pattern here, which is Proto-Indo-European. Well, the transformed to or shifted to f, which is Germanic. First it was pater, now father, used in English. First it was in Latin. Then th sound, Proto-Indo-European, shifted to th sound, Germanic. First it was tres, now it's three. Then comes k sound, Proto-Indo-European, shifted to h, Germanic sound, canis, now it's hound. So this shows us how shift happened. This is vowel consonant shift. Sorry, this is consonant shift, which is according to Grimm studies. Then let's move forward. 5 ways meaning shift. So how a word's meaning can move. First, boring, like a dog once one specific breed. Now all canines are dog. Then comes narrowing, meat, once any food, now only animal flesh. Shift, gay, first it was cheerful, now entirely different meaning today. Amelioration. First it was knight, which was boy servant, then meaning shifted to noble warrior, meaning its meaning improved. Pejoration. Silly. First it was blessed or happy in meaning, now it's foolish, meaning worsened. In this situation, this shows how meaning shift according to the different situations. Now let's look at a vowel earthquake, which is great vowel shift, quite a lot famous in linguistics, started in spanning from 1400 to 1700. Over 3 centuries, every long vowel in English physically moved position in the mouth. This single event is why English spelling looks nothing like how we say it. So this is what caused change. Before Middle English and now after Modern English. Before it was name, there's something like this. Now it's name. O is A now. Now you don't say that anymore. Then mias. Now it's mice. Long E turned to I. Then house, first it was whose, now it's house. You say it with less stress in your mouth, just simply saying it using short vowels, giving stress to your mouth. So this is what happened. First we looked at consonant shift, now here's vowel shift. So this is from where the data is taken for this. So English steals words. Well, this is quite a harsh term to use, but it does. Where does English vocabulary actually come from? English is famous for borrowing. Roughly only 24 to 30% of its vocabulary is original Germanic. So this is from where the language borrows, English language borrows words from these languages, mostly from French, it's 29%, then Latin, again same 29%, Germanic 26%. From Greek, 6% of borrowing, and from other languages, 10% of borrowing. So this is how much data is borrowed. Words or new terms are borrowed or from other languages that are part of English language now. Then let's move. The same language, 3 eras. English in 800 years read the same idea but three different ways. Old English, circa 1000. This is the Old English, which is quite a lot from modern layman to even read it because it is so different from the New English. Feder or Pope art on Heuphonum. See, it's quite difficult. Unreadable to modern speakers without training. Heavily inflected Germanic vocabulary. So it is not possible to read without training. Then comes Middle English. 1300 century Chaucer's era. This is from his work One That April with his showers suit. Well, here a spelling of April is with double LT. So this shows that how even spellings are different from modern English today. Practically readable, French influence visible, grammar simplifying. Here quite a lot of grammar, but here grammar is simplifying, and here we have it is totally simplified grammar. Early modern English 1600 Shakespeare, to be or not to be, that is a question. Fully readable today. Grammar essentially modern, just older vocabulary and style. So this shows that how English traveled for different centuries, starting from Old English, then Middle English, and then early modern English. And now language is totally simplified. So the references, this is from where the data has been taken. If you want to study this in more detail, you can check them out too. You can pause the video and read them in detail. These works if anybody wants to. These references are mostly written for your guidance. So that's it for today. I hope you understand it. It's not that much difficult. It is about how language change. We are talking only about English here. Well, we'll discuss about some other languages too if we ever get in chance, and you can comment too if you want to learn about any other language change too. But English is quite famous as it is one of the world's most famous languages too, and mostly used language too, so that's why it is part of language change topic. So that's it for today. I hope you understand it. Please do like, subscribe and share, and do comment. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.